Hi guys, a couple of minutes early, so hopefully we've got people on the call. This is the first time I've really used Hangouts in anger, so just bear with me on this, and we'll get it working just right. Yeah, apologies for the grainy webcam. My bulb went in my light, so I've had to replace the bulb, and it's a little bit dimmer than I would like. So what I'm going to do is just open up sort of chat boxes on here. That should hopefully pop up in your window too. Should be on the right hand side of your window. If you can just put hi and just sort of drop your name in there, that will be absolutely fantastic. So just going to wait for a couple of minutes, and then we'll commence. What I'll do in the meantime, I will just flip my screen over, and then we can have a look at some of the slides that we'll be presenting. So, okay, there we go. So I was going to drop that in there, and hopefully you can see that. So yeah, so I'll just wait for a couple of minutes, wait for people to join the call. Yeah, as I said in the email, it's actually going to be recorded directly into YouTube in the Mountains of Mind YouTube channel. So I'll send the link out just shortly after the webinar on that, so you can watch it, sort of in your own time, and they maybe want to stop, take some notes, etc. on that. So just listen to that, take some notes, and there'll be an option at the end to ask some questions. So I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes, wait till everybody gets on. If you're watching this on catch up on YouTube, and hopefully you'll find some really good information in there. Okay, hopefully everything's working okay. Just going to sort of bring this down. Okay, so hi guys. So we've got a couple of people on the call straight away. Should be a little chat message box on the right hand side of your screen. If you can just tap hi in there and just your name, so I know who's on the call, will be fantastic. So yeah, so first time I've really used Google Hangouts in anger. So hopefully we will we'll get through this, and it's being recorded. So if you not been able to attend live, then there's always that opportunity to watch it on catch up. It's actually being recorded directly into YouTube. It's YouTube's way of actually doing a live broadcast, or one of the many ways. So if you want to do a live broadcast on YouTube, this is one of the methods. So yeah, fantastic. Okay, guys. So it's a couple of minutes past 8 o'clock. We've got a slot of an hour. Not expecting to take anywhere near that. We want to be wrapping this up sort of 35, 40 minutes time. There's a little bit of buffer in there if everybody wants to ask questions, etc. So I've got a couple of people on the call. Hopefully you can see a chat box on your screen. If you can get in there, just sort of type hi, just so I know everything's fine and this should be recorded okay. So if I could just ask you to do that, that would be absolutely fantastic, guys. Okay, just putting that in there now. Okay, just bear with us a moment. Just find my way through this. Not good, not good. There we go, chat. Okay, hopefully you can see everything here. I'll just type hi. So hopefully that should pop up in your window. If you could just sort of reply back to me, that'll be fantastic. Just so I know, just say hi, you can hear me. Okay. Okay, I think we're okay. So yeah, okay, guys. So I'm just going to flip the screen over and share the sort of brief PowerPoint presentation I've put together. So I'm just going to flip the screen here, and that'll share out, present that to everybody, and there we go. Okay, guys. If you're on the call, Jane, just let me know whether you can hear me or not on Facebook if you've got it. I'm just going to fire up Facebook now, and just see if if you send a message direct to me rather than through Mountains in Mind, that'd be great. Okay, that's fantastic. Just got your message, Jane. Could you send me another message just to make just let me know whether you can hear me or not? Also, let me see the slides. Fantastic. Thanks, Jane. Okay, success. Okay, so just going to hide this little box at the bottom here. And okay, put this slide together sort of on the request of a few of the guys that are coming out with us next year. Straight away, you can see a typo there. Got 2016. It's actually 2017 for anybody that's coming out. So apologies there. So yeah, so what I want to do really over the next sort of 6 months until we head out to Kili is just at least once a month put a sort of a brief sort of webinar on just to answer any questions out there to the team. What I'm also going to do as well, one of the questions that we've had presented to was about what type of kit do we need to take, you know, waterproofs, boots, etc., etc. What I'm going to do next week, Monday, Tuesday, put a really simple video together, put that onto YouTube, and I'll share the link. And what I'm going to do there is just show you some examples of the kit that you'll need to take. The reason why I'm going to do it next week is actually I'm packing to go back out to Kilimanjaro next Friday. I've got a group of 27 coming in the Rongai route, so it's from the northern side of the mountain. And Sean, one of the guys, or the main organizer of this particular trip, is actually in a wheelchair. So we're actually going to do a wheelchair ascent of Kilimanjaro. So I actually fly out on the 12th of August, and I'm pretty much out then until the rest of the month. So really excited about that. So I wanted to tie that in to show you what I take with me and a typical expedition out to Kilimanjaro. Okay, so that should be really cool coming up. Okay, so quick intro for the presentation this evening. Quick introduction. Majority of you do know. She's more for the people that sort of find us on YouTube, and just give you a bit of an overview on ourselves. The picture, what you've got there is Kilimanjaro Airport. So this is where you disembark the your sort of flight after sort of connection. And we arrive, all being well, if we can get the flights booked, which I'll touch that on later on, so 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, so I want to give you a quick update on some changes that have happened in the industry and specifically in Tanzania. So I want to give you just sort of a quick 2 to 3 minute update on that one. Just want to then go over the overview of the adventure for anybody that's sort of joining us on the catch up. And then we're going to sort of address some of the concerns, some of the questions that we've had sitting on this trip, but had on the last sort of 2 trips that we've done as well. Mainly is fitness and then altitude. Okay, what I'm going to touch on then is gear and kit. So what type of kit do we need to take with us? There's a concise list in the itinerary
But like I say, I'm going to produce a video which I'm going to put onto YouTube, which will give you a bit more of a clearer understanding of what kit do you need on the mountain. If you're a seasoned sort of walker, trekker, hiker, whatever you want to call it, in the UK, done a lot in Scotland, you know, sort of October, November time, you're already going to have the right gear with you. So typically, you know, throughout the day, so trekking wise, walking wise, you're going to have what we tend to use in the UK. So I'll touch on that a little bit later on. Q&A, maybe a little bit difficult at this point because I've not mastered how to open up that box. But what I would encourage you to do, I'll give you my email address, and there's either email me any questions or direct message me via Facebook, either if you're sort of friends of mine, or through Mountains in Mind fan page. That will be awesome. Okay, quick introduction. By myself, Darren Hunt, escaped corporate life about 3 years ago, 2014, and a lifelong passion for the outdoors from a very, 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 very early age. We have relatives in the Lake District, so we spent a lot of our childhood in the Lake District, and then further south in Cornwall. So 30 plus years, 46 now. So really, since I was 4 or 5, as long as I can remember, really, we were on the sort of walks, low level walks in the Lake District, down to Cornwall. And then I sort of moved on then to sort of do more sort of expeditions sort of in the UK and overseas, Nepal, Kilimanjaro. And that sort of stemmed from 5 years in the Army Cadets. Qualified as a mountain expedition leader. We do within Mountains in Mind, we do a lot of event support through challenge events as well. So that's sort of one of our sort of, you know, subsidiary specialities. But our true passion really is the expeditions that we offer over to Kilimanjaro, and next year we're launching Nepal as well. What we are considering, looking at next year, if we're looking at it off the ground, is a trip to Iceland, and then possibly some UK trips as well. So yeah, personally, yeah, I started running seriously about sort of 5-6 years ago, and I've done over sort of, you know, 50 races on there. Probably done over 70 races now. My longest one is a 75-mile ultra on that, and we do travel sort of to Nepal, Himalaya, and the Alps. And I'm in an unfortunate position where I could actually quit my job and follow my passion. And one of the passions that I have, and one of my sort of big goals for years and years and years, is to join a mountain rescue team. This is what I have done now. I've been 3 years a member of the Buxton Mountain Rescue Team in the Peak District. So it's a brief background on me. Mountains in Mind formed about 4 years ago, and we are now on our 3rd trip to Kilimanjaro. And I'm happy to say that each one so far has been 100%. We've got a system and a technique that we use on the mountain, which we've developed to enable us to get all the team to the summit. So we're really excited about that, and I'll touch on that when we delve in to the itinerary. Yeah, so really our direction for Mountains in Mind is really we want to sort of stay reasonably small. I want to be heavily involved with pretty much all our trips that we send out. I'd love to say that I'll be on absolutely every trip. That's not going to be possible. So Claire, my partner, is coming in to lead some of the trips over the next couple of years. And we've got some really, really good friends as well who are specialists in their area, which we will call upon their services. One of them is Stu Westerfield, African specialist. He's going to be contributing to our blogs and sharing his vast wealth of knowledge, certainly around safaris and the wildlife out in Africa as well, which is really exciting. We want to okay, so a brief update. As we know, certainly in the UK, we are now August the 1st. A month or so back, we had a referendum in the UK, Brexit, to sort of vote whether we stay or we leave the European Union. I'm not going into sort of obviously the details. That's not the nature of this particular call. But the consequences are this. Friday morning after the referendum, the pound crashed, and as of 1st of August, it's still very, very low against the dollar. I think we're 121 at the moment, 119, 121. what that means to the adventure overseas adventure market, certainly sort of originating in the UK, typically buying services from Nepal, from the US, from sort of other destinations around the world, we trade in US dollars. Okay, so pretty much overnight, our trips became a third more expensive. Okay, that's going to have a ripple effect over the next sort of 6, 12, 18 months within the industry. Which is quite significant. Margins are relatively low anyway on these particular trips, but we built our costs on an exchange rate of 146. We created a bit of a buffer in there, but with that huge drop, it's actually taken basically eating into our profits. And obviously that's that's sort of a little bit of an issue. It's only for the business anyway. We're still making a profit. We're okay there. But what we're going to honour for our clients for 2017 for the January trip, we're going to honour and freeze those prices. So there's going to be no increase in there. A slight more direct challenge that we're going to sort of face in the sort of coming months, hopefully it's not going to affect this particular trip, is there's a new government formed in Tanzania last year. And one of their big manifesto elements was they want to increase tourism. The Tanzania is the Kenya, obviously borders onto Kenya, the south of Kenya. And if we think of safari, we think of going to Serengeti in Kenya. But actually, there's a lot more wildlife in Tanzania. And the new government wants to focus on tourism. Tourism is the main income for the country. They actually export coffee, which is one of their sort of main exports. But tourism is their sort of main sort of income. And the two areas of if we want to drill that down a little bit further, the two areas within the tourism market that are the most popular is Kilimanjaro and safaris, typically the Ngurunguru. But what they've done as of the 1st of July 2016, this is announced on the 5th, that they're going to slap an 18% levy on all entry fees into these national parks. We've not seen that passed on to us. And we were in close negotiations with our African partner, Shanti Tours, out there. So we're just going to keep an eye on that. If that does come our way, unfortunately, I'm going to have to push that out to you guys, I'm afraid. We can't take that hit, obviously absorbing the inflationary challenges there. But we'll give you enough notice if that was to be the point. Typically, the national park fee for Kilimanjaro is about $450, $500. So obviously, if we do the quick maths on that, we're looking at probably about $80 or $90 increase, which is about at the moment £82 thereabouts. And obviously, it's national parks. If you add in the safari on, that's going to come a little bit more expensive as well. What I'll do, I'll send out an email of possible increases and charges, just so you're a little bit more aware and sort of conditioned for that. Again, if you've got any questions on that, drop me an email or send me a message direct onto that. Okay. Quick overview in Kilimanjaro. As we know, there are actually, labeled as 4 different zones, but there's actually 5 if we class the bushland, i.e. the flatlands around Kilimanjaro. The actual flatlands where we'll be staying in the Wuru Lodge is about 1,000 meters high. And we'll go into sort of the geology of that whilst we're on the hill. We'll sort of have a look at the Great African Rift Valley, etc. Sort of on that. Kilimanjaro itself is made up of 3 summits, Kibu, Mwenzi and Shira. Shira being the oldest, Mwenzi and Kibu is the one that we're climbing. Shira is the oldest. We'll actually be camping our second night, so over at Shira Camp. And we'll sort of outline where the volcano was on that as well. Mwenzi is a little bit more formed, but obviously Kibu is the main one, is the one we think of being Kilimanjaro on that. It's dormant. It's not really erupted for a couple of thousand years. We had minor eruption probably about 200 or 300 years ago, but it's dormant. So there is still magma, a couple of hundred feet below 400 meters, below our feet when we're standing on the summit. So yeah, there's no plans for that to erupt anytime soon, thankfully. So yes, so 5 zones that we're going to be walking through, and sort of what we've got here. This is where we're going to be starting here, Manchami Village. Our first camp, which is Manchami Camp here, is look on the left of the screen. Our second camp is Shira Camp. The actual volcano is off to the left here. And then quite a long day. Our third day is going to really, it's our main acclimatization day. We're going to trek up to Lava Tower, which we're going to feel the altitude at that point. We're going to feel the sort of altitude from sort of this point here before Manchami and certainly after. But the beauty of this one, we descend quite a lot. We descend sort of 600-700 meters, whereas we descend, the air gets thicker. And we'll sort of feel the benefits of that. And the next couple of days, sort of Barranco Wall to Karanga Camp is, or the Peanut Camp. There's a little valley that we dip into and come out. So they're sort of steady, sort of shortish days onto that. We're talking 4 or 5 hours. Our next day then, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Our 5th day is up to Barafu Camp. Early start, early finish. So we'll be getting into camp about 1 in the afternoon. This is our base camp. This is where we're going to launch the summit push from. So we're going to go through the itinerary. The itinerary is actually sent out to you, but the actual breaking down into the hours, we're going to be sort of heading out to the summit about 10:30 before any of the other teams on the mountain. And this is a system that we've put in place, really, where we've achieved this 100% success rate. And we're going to go really, 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 really slowly. Poli-poli. Poli-poli Swahili is slowly, slowly. And we go slower than a slow thing. Okay, it's going to be slow. It's going to be, in some cases, it's going to be frustrating, certainly if you're eager and getting out, and sort of doing marathons or just sort of, not used to walking really, really slow. We have to walk really, really slow on the mountain to aid acclimatization. I'll touch on that when we move on to how to handle altitude. So really, yeah, so 10:30, we're looking at getting to summit for around about sunrise. With an amazing view of Mwenzi, which is over to our right here. And then with clear views, we'll see this curvature of the Earth. Some are only sort of reserved for sort of jumbo jets, sort of traveling at sort of 30, 40, 50,000 feet in the air. And then we'll descend through Barafu, short rest, and all the way down to Mwika Camp for sleep, and then down to Mwika Village for the day. So that's 7 days. So the reason why I've chosen this route, it's one of the best ones for acclimatization. And if you have a look around our sort of 6-day treks, putting an extra day into this particular route increases our chances by 27%, which we've proven that as well. We're going to be passing through the rainforest sort of when we're ascending, and also when we're descending here. There is a really good possibility in the last 3 times we've been out. We've actually seen blue monkeys sort of with their little ones in the trees, which is pretty special. You can hear the sound of the rainforest, the jungle, and it's great on the descent because you're just sort of left. You can't go anywhere else. There's just one path, and what we tend to do is just let people wander down. We'll have a lead at the front, some guys sweeping at the back, and it's really nice to have a moment on your own down there just to reflect on your achievements. And yeah, that's pretty much an overview of our route. So I really wanted to sort of go into our itinerary. Our itinerary is sort of here, and it's also listed in our itinerary that you should have received by now. If you haven't received that, please let me know, and I'll email you out another copy on there. So we're just going to flick through that. Fantastic. Okay, not quite sure what's going on there. Not quite sure what's going on there. Okay, I apologize for this. There we go. Okay, fitness. One of the sort of the main questions we get, like I was saying, two real questions is, how fit do I need to be, and will I suffer from altitude sickness? The first one, how fit do we need to be? It's a really good question, and it's very difficult to measure. But what we try and say is, you don't need to be a marathon runner. You don't need to be running 26, 30 miles races, etc. Is it going to help if you're that fit? Not necessarily. There's no real correlation between being uber fit at sea level to actually not being affected by altitude. I've known really, really fit guys fit people who are, really top marathon runners, sort of sub 3 hours, and who really struggle because they get used to going so fast. They want to sort of speed up and not used to going so slow. So what we say as a rule of thumb is if you can walk 2 days back to back in the UK mountains, so 6 to 8 hours a day, nice pace. You're not sort of, going sort of all out to get a good time, and do that reasonably comfortably, then you're more than fit enough for Kilimanjaro. Okay, we've had guys on the trip who have not done any exercise at all, and they've got to the top. It really hurt them. You could really see they were physically struggling, not just with the altitude, but just physically with their fitness. So we say now we've got 6 months, and I'm friends with most of you guys on Facebook anyway, so I can see the training that's going in and sort of just day to day, what you do day to day, walks wise, etc., etc. Question: do we need to hit the gym? It's not going to do any harm, but complement that with getting out in the hills. I know some of the guys sort of live in the sort of the home counties, which is a little bit difficult to get out into the mountains. But I know some guys are driving across to the Brecon Beacons, hitting those hills there, which is fantastic. It's exactly what you need. And it's not always going to be possible to get out there. So what you're looking for is just getting out for a walk. Locally, sort of Chilterns are really nice. Sort of North Downs, South Downs are really nice to walk in as well. And it's all going to help. If we just focus on gym work, that's not really going to give us what we need to get on the hill. We work on stamina. It's on time on feet. 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. Going to break it to you. You're probably on your feet on the summit night for about 12 to 14 hours. Yeah, it's a long day. So the more time you can get in the mountains, great. We are considering actually putting on a weekend towards the back end of the year, just to sort of test your fitness. Looking at dates to put that in, and it will probably be North Wales on that. And if you're interested, just send me a message on that, and I'll get some details over to you. Yeah, work on stamina, core strength. It's all going to help. If you want to go to the gym and ask a personal trainer or sort of a gym assistant just to give you a fitness plan, just to work on your core strength. You just want to tone. You don't want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, anybody like that. You just want to sort of tone. If you've got sort of internal strength, it just creates better posture for you as well. What you want to look at as well is when you're going out for the walk, certainly non-mountainous, if you struggle going to get to the mountains, is the terrain. As you can see from the photo there, it's very rocky, it's very dusty. That is just quite steep. The photo's not giving you on that, the impression on there, and that's leading up to Barafu camp. So you're going to start feeling altitude at that point. You're going to be out of breath on that. All we're moving is slowly. If you can think of a funeral march, if you've ever seen the sort of military do a funeral march, it is really that slow. That is the speed that we're going to be walking at. You're not going to be able to walk any quicker than that because the lack of oxygen in the air. Summit of Kilimanjaro is a third of the amount of oxygen that there is at sea level. So you just can't go quick. You're just not going to be able to help that. So yeah, not going to, we're all adults here. We know we should be eating the right stuff, but seriously, if you want to really get into good shape, is have a look at what you're eating, nutrition-wise, etc. Avoid sugar, drinking, fizzy pop, stuff like that. Let's have a look. The more vegetables you can get in there, the better. One of the questions is, I need protein, that's why I need meat. Just have a look at the protein content in spinach, spirulina, broccoli. You'll find it's actually 3-4 times more than it's in beef, but that's down to you guys really. But really do consider sort of looking at the nutrition on that. 6 months now, it's a really good time. If you need to lose a few pounds, great, set that goal and head to it as well. So yeah, the climb, there's nothing technical on there. There's one sort of scramble at the Barranco Wall. It's not technical. There's no ropes required. It's a scramble. I'm going to be fully supported. I'll put some videos out what the Barranco Wall looks like. But it really is an awesome experience to do that very first thing. The nickname is Breakfast Wall. You have your breakfast and go and do the wall. Some say breakfast is left on the wall. I've not seen that. But once you hit the top of the Barranco Wall, the views open up. If you've seen the photo that we've got on our sort of Facebook and on our fan page, excuse me. of Kilimanjaro behind us, and we're all sort of holding our hands up in the air. That is your reward for the Barranco Wall, and it's all downhill from there. So yeah, so that's sort of the terrain. Okay, altitude sickness. Okay, so this is a subject that we want to sort of touch on, and I want to go into a little bit detail in this, but what we'll do as well is certainly debriefing the night before the trip, and daily we will be monitoring everybody on the trip, including ourselves. Okay, yes, we feel it as well. The guys that are doing it out there, our partners at Shanty Tours, they've got guys on there that have done Kilimanjaro 200-300 times. It's more times than I've done sort of 3 peaks. Yeah, I've sort of done that about 32 times now. The national 3 peaks led that. So these guys are awesome. But altitude sickness, yes, we're going to feel it. There's going to be certain symptoms that you're going to experience. Everybody will experience them. Different times, different days on the mountain, but it's fairly guaranteed that at some point you will have a few of these symptoms. Okay, we'll guarantee you this. One of the reasons why it's more so on Kilimanjaro is because we're heading up to the same height or just a little bit higher than Everest Base Camp. And typically, when we do our treks, our extended trek to Everest Base Camp next year, we're taking over 18 days. So we're away for nearly 3 weeks. Okay, that's 4 days back down. So really to get to Everest Base Camp, we're talking 14 days, 16 days to get to Everest Base Camp. We're doing the summit at the same height in 5. The rule of thumb acclimatization process is, it's climb no more than sleep no higher than 400 meters from where you slept the night before, and every 1,000 meters you take a day off. We haven't got that luxury on Kilimanjaro, so everybody gets it a little bit. Okay, so there are 3 levels, what we class as 3 levels of altitude sickness. One everybody's going to get is AMS, acute mountain sickness. And it's going to be varying degrees. So you're going to have an headache, pretty much guaranteed. Your pressure, what's going on in your body is your red blood cells are increasing. With that is added pressure around the brain. So our body just wants to keep oxygen supplying to the brain. That's our survival mechanism. And so we create more red blood cells to get the oxygen pumped around the body. Okay, you're going to feel really tired because our body's working overtime on this, and this sort of correlates back to how fit you need to be. Your body needs to use a lot of energy to adapt itself to altitude, to the altitude, I should say. If your body's also trying to struggle to keep you moving due to fitness or lack of fitness, then it's gonna make something's going to have to go, and your body wants to survive, so it'll give more of its energy to acclimatizing. Okay, and you just have to drag yourself up the mountain on that. So what we say, if you can be reasonably fit, it just helps with altitude sickness. There's no written evidence that that is the case, but logic would prevail that it makes sense for that. So on insomnia, you're going to feel restless at night. It's not going to be pleasant. You're going to feel a little bit nauseous. You don't necessarily be sick, but you just feel sick there. And all that is your body processing to the new altitude on that as well. So what it's doing is trying to get rid of anything in your body that it doesn't want. So loss of appetite is normal, and you're going to get vivid dreams in there as well. I'm not sure why, but your dreams are so real. It's unreal. And this starts to happen pretty much from the first night. There's different ways of acclimatizers. Different people acclimatize in different ways. There's fast acclimatizers and slow acclimatizers. The people that start acclimatizing at first camp are fast acclimatizers. So you'll get it out the way relatively quickly. Not saying you're not going to feel that later on in the trek, but pretty much for the next 2 or 3 days, you're going to be fine. Slow acclimatizers probably won't feel it till camp 3 or camp 4, which is fine. You'll feel a little bit rough then, and then you're ready for the summit push. Everybody will feel sort of a little bit headachy, a little bit nauseous, a bit sort of tired on the summit push. But there's different sort of different levels and different stages where we will acclimatize. Do we know who's who? No, we won't know until you get it. But we will monitor the symptoms. We will monitor you. We will monitor ourselves. We will monitor each other. What we'll do on the briefing and each morning as well. I'll just give a little refresher about what to look for in yourself and other people as well, just to make sure everybody's okay, and we'll move on from there. Okay. There are drugs to aid your acclimatization. It's going to mask it, basically, aid your acclimatization, and it's a drug called Diamox, and you can get that on prescription from your doctor. We're not saying it's right. We're not saying it's wrong. It's an individual choice. If you do take it, if you do get the prescription from your doctor, what we suggest is don't take it until you've spoken to us, because if you are really, really suffering on the mountain and it's one of our medicines that we prescribe and to hand out, we will sort of recommend that you take it to aid you if you're really, really struggling. By all means, get it on prescription, take it with you, bring it with you, I should say. But if you're going to take it, let us know, because we need to monitor that as well. So if you do sort of come down with severe mountain sickness, which we'll touch on in a minute, that's one of our treatments, as it was. On the hill, we'll also have oxygen, supplementary oxygen. So we'll have O2. You might have watched Everest and they call it O. Yeah, we'll have, we've got 10 people coming out, so we'll have 1/2 bottles with us. Typically won't use it, but we'll have that on the night push as well, where if it's going to be used, it's going to be used then, but we're not at 7,000 meters, 8,000 meters. It's really as a sort of a backup for us if you do need it and you need to go down. Then we'll sort of give you a little bit of oxygen as well, but we'll have a touch on that as well. What am I going to do there? Okay, altitude sickness, HAPE. Okay, pulmonary. Okay, so it's lungs. Okay, so if this is going to happen, it's not suddenly going to come on. So you're not going to suddenly skip AMS and go straight into HAPE. We will monitor you, like I say, all the time. We're going to, if somebody goes really, really quiet, we'll just keep an eye on somebody. But typically, everybody's sort of jolly, sociable, etc. We can sort of see the symptoms anyway. But typically over 2,500 meters is when you sort of get HAPE. So it's not pleasant. You start getting fluid on the lungs. Okay, and the telltale sign, you're going to get out of breath anyway when we walk in. But if you sit down and still out of breath, then that's what we've got to have a look at. Okay, we've all got pulse oximeters, so we'll actually take your reading, your oxygen levels in your blood, your SATs, as it's often referred to, and typically you're going to be averaging around about 85%, but there's no hard fast rule on that either. So when you get to about 4,000 meters, you'll be looking at a saturation level of about 85, 75, 85, somewhere around that region. Some are higher, some are slightly lower, and you can sort of see about the symptoms anyway. If you went to the doctors with that, they would sort of reach to hospital straight away, but we know the reasons here, so it's all pretty cool. Okay, the only treatment for HAPE, this is a high altitude pulmonary edema, is descent relatively quickly. Okay, so always say descend to at least the point where you were feeling better, you're feeling okay, but it's the continued descent all the way down. Okay, it's getting off the hill is the only real cure for any form of altitude sickness. And again, we've got the supplementary oxygen if you need it. Okay, not pleasant. I'm not going to say you never get it on Kilimanjaro, because you do, but we're sort of closely monitoring everybody that it reduces the chance of anything really, really serious happening. Okay, HACE, cerebral edema. Okay, this is a serious one, and only 1% suffer worldwide. So you're taking into consideration sort of Everest, somewhere 8,000, 7,000, 6,000 meter peaks around the world. Okay, obviously we've seen the film, we're aware of the film Everest. That wasn't mainly down to in fact that wasn't down to altitude sickness at all. That was just going against their hard, fast rules on the mountain, and we can chat around that and the reasons why that happened, and so on and so forth. Reason accidents happen in the mountains. There's a set of rules and standards that we have to follow, even in the UK. One of them is weather, timing, looking after each other, etc. If you start to reduce one of those or ignore one of those elements, then it's not going to end well. Stuff will happen. And this adventure, we're out at altitude, any adventure in the world, stuff's going to happen. It's relatively dangerous. This is a dangerous trek, in relation to altitude. So that's why we have to put the systems in place. So I just want to touch on this one. And again, like I say, we're going to sort of cover this on the hill. So really, it's unsteadiness. Again, you're not going to go all the way to HACE. You're going to go through sort of AMS and possibly to HACE, or maybe to HAPE then HACE. Okay, so it's fluid around the brain. And typically what this is when you're getting your headaches, you're getting more red blood cells to your brain, and it's obviously, it's going to sort of put pressure in between, the sort of the cavity, very, very small cavity between your brain and the skull. What happens here is actual blood cells leak. Okay, so then you've got fluid around the brain, which is not good. Okay, you're going to feel very lethargic, dizziness, you're going to go into possible coma, you're going to be sort of unsteady. And this is fairly life-threatening, but only 1% suffer in the world who go up this. It's descent, 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 get you down as quick as possible, and oxygen. Okay, on that. And it's not going to sort of suddenly catch up and bite you on the bum as it was. Again, we're all it's a close-knit team, and we look out for each other. And again, it's one of my emphases on when looking for a working partner in any country. It's really what is their standard procedures, what are their risk assessments, recommendations, obviously from other professionals in the marketplace in the UK and worldwide. So I did 2 years worth of due diligence to find Ashanti Tours, and we found a really, really good company here, and some leaders that we work with very, very closely, and they know what we want for our clients as well. And we're very, very, very comfortable with them, and their professionalism is second to none. So, yeah. So again, I'm not going to be able to take questions, unfortunately, because I've not been able to master how to open the box up. But I'm going to leave you with details at the end of the slides, where you can email me any questions, Facebook me, or Facebook through Mountains in Mind fan page. Okay, guys. Certainly, when this is on YouTube, you can leave comments, but the main access to me is via Facebook. Mountains in Mind, Facebook.com/Mountains in Mind, and message me. Okay, guys. Any questions at all? And I'll leave my email address as well. Okay. Okay. So, what do we need to do to aid acclimatization? Not eliminate, but aid it. We need to be drinking minimum of 4 liters a day. It sounds a lot. Ideally, if we can get to 5, that's fantastic. During the trek, we need to be looking at 2 liters a day. Sounds a lot. If you're drinking that much in the UK, it's going to have sort of sort of a negative effect. Certainly, if we're doing lots of races, if there's any athletes between, amongst us as well, to overdrink is also bad for you as well, but not on the mountain, because drinking helps aid acclimatization by just basically helping increase the red blood cells. You need to eat like a king. You're going to lose weight anyway. This is not the top place to go in the diet. So you need to eat like a king or a queen, and you need to be munching and grazing all through the day. Sometimes you're not going to feel like it, but you should have a little and often. You're going to have breakfast laid on for us. We're going to have a packed lunch given to us by the porters and the support team. And we're going to have a really substantial evening meal as well. And when we get into camp, like if anybody had been skiing, sort of chalets, we're going to have popcorn, cups of tea, cups of momo, which is like a hot chocolate from Australia. And sometimes we're going to have bits of fruit as well. So you'll be amazed at the amount of food that we can consume. And more importantly, how do these guys get it up there? A lot of the porters carry our stuff, and you'll be amazed on the work ethic of these guys, and we can learn a lot from the porters out there. So yeah, so snack during the day. What advise you if you can bring some snacks with you, some like trail mix, I've got chia seed bar, so I'll send you all this on a link actually as well. What I take, so trail mix, seeds, raisins, chocolate to boost your morale, and yeah, so run eat as much as I can. Drink as much. So either we're using sort of a hydration system, what we call the bladder, where there's a platypus, where the camelback, and other ones out on the market now. I'll take that, plus also take a wide mouth bottle as well. Again, I'll send you all these photos next week. We need to rest. So when we get to camp, we're going to be presented with hot water where we can have a wash. It's a bowl. Don't expect much, about an inch or so of water, and the guys have to carry that up for us. So we're going to get into camp. We're going to need to rest as much as possible. So it's sleep. Get in there, get your stuff sorted out, and then sleep until evening meal, which is around about 6 o'clock. Then we're going to eat like a king or a queen, and then we'll have a chat. We're going to have sort of a bit of banter and really good, sort of time in the mess tent, and then we're going to go to bed. You'll be in bed by 9 o'clock, and you sleep all the way then to wake up in the morning. Poly. You're going to hear this a lot. It's slowly. It's to walk as slow as we possibly can. There'll be a guide at the front. I'll lead from the back. One of the African guys, whether it be white or is supporting leaders, will be leading from the front, and we go at their pace. Okay, and we try and keep all together. Sometimes we're going to be spread up, but we're okay. We've got UHF radio, so we can communicate. But we like to keep everyone together. And that's it. So really, we need to rest when we can. We need to sleep as much as we can, and we need to eat and drink all the time. Okay. You're not going to feel like it when you're acclimatizing. You're going to feel a bit nauseous. You not really want to eat. That's okay. That's fine. But obviously, if that progresses, then it continues, you should say, then we need to have a look at that. But typically, you're going to get a headache. And typically, if it's normally gone in the morning, what you can take for that is just normal paracetamol, ibuprofen maybe, just sort of normal headache tablets as well. But you'll find that's gone in the morning. If you still got it in the morning, we'll have a look and just to check out, your oxygen levels and stuff like that. So there's lots of procedures in place on that, in really, really good hands here as well. So we're just going to touch on kit, and I'll put a few slides together here, give you some ideas of manufacturers mainly, and where you can go and get your kit from. There's a concise list on the itinerary with check boxes, etc. on there, down to how many socks you want to be looking at, how many tops you want to be going as well. We've got a 15 kilogram weight limit for the porters can only carry, and this is one of the reasons why I've gone with Shanty Tours. And pretty much all the good tour operators on Kilimanjaro follow this process and procedure, that every time we get to a camp, we have to sign in. Not only do we have to sign, the porters have to sign in. And not only do they have to sign in, they have to weigh their kit. Okay, they can carry 22 kilograms. That's including our kit, their kit, and a bit of camp kit. So what we've suggested, if we can get our bags down to 15 kilograms, that gives those guys more leeway then to carry, water, food, their own personal kit, bit of tent, your bag as well. So we've put down on the list, even down to a washing line with some pegs on the itinerary, because you might want to wash your smalls. You may get a little bit sweaty. You want to hang things out. You can rig up a little line, on your tent and just hang these things out. The rainforest, it can rain, and when it does rain, it can rain for 4 hours, really, really, really hard. And then normally when we get to Manchema camp, then it stops raining there, but everywhere is going to be damp, so you're going to need to hang stuff out. Okay, plastic bags to keep stuff in. What we recommend is sort of dry bags. You can get these from really good outdoor shops now and online. So everything needs to go, even though it's in your bag, it needs to go in a dry bag. Okay, plastic bags are okay, but they're not completely waterproof. Okay, so really you want to get these from expedition ones all the way down to ones from Mountain Warehouse that are not as durable but are okay, do the job. Okay, so yeah, hydration system. What you want to do is somewhere you can access water from very, very quickly, rapidly, and consistently. The water on the Manchemo side is taken from streams which originate high in the mountain. A little bit of meltwater from the glaciers, but mainly from rainwater. And I don't take sterilization tablets in this because it's mountain, it's fresh water. It's a little bit gritty, a little bit of dirt in that, but that's not going to do us any harm. But that's a personal thing for me. I know a lot of people do take tablets with them, whether that's sort of iodine tablets, which are okay. You can get counter iodine tablets as well. There's a lot of trekking shops out there that can do sterilizing tablets. Filters, you can, but it's a lot of faff. So what a lot of people tend to do is just drop a sterilizing tablet in there, and you can put another tablet to take the taste away, or you can get these these isotonic tablets where you can drop in there, gives a bit of isotonic, puts the sort of the salts and all bits and pieces back into your body, and also takes the taste away as well. So that is a personal preference. I've done this route 4 times, and I've not come down with any hygiene problems. Talk about hygiene problems. A typical hygiene problem is not necessarily the water, and this is any UK, any sort of world, or certainly UK anyway. If you're taking from running water from a mountain, obviously checking above that it's not coming from a mining area. Yes, the odd chance of sheep might be dead in the stream up. If it's 200 meters up, the stream will filter it out anyway. It's down to personal hygiene. It's when you've been to the loo, not necessarily cleaning our hands properly, even the gel, but it's cleaning our hands properly on a daily basis. That's why we recommend taking a scrubbing brush with you to get behind those nails. And that it's down to personal hygiene. And we can sort of get away with it in the UK, but because our immune system is going to be on the weaker side, because our body's going to be overworking, then yeah, it's looking after personal hygiene as well. So I'm not going to go into the specific kit too much. I'll put that on the video next week. But rule of thumb, if this is just a one-time gig, this you only want to do Kilimanjaro, nothing else ever again in the mountains or anything else, you'll think you'll change your mind once you're there, then you don't want the most expensive kit. Okay, you can go sort of from the bottom of the market, which it's horrible. It's Carrymore. Carrymore used to be a good brand years ago, solid British manufacturer, which got bought out by Sports Direct. But that kit is okay if you're just going to do this one trip. If you feel like you're going to do more, you actually do more in the UK, then you want to sort of look at it up in the quality of the kit. And that pretty much starts from the outside for the waterproof jackets. Jackets coming from Carrymore are okay. They'll do your trip on Kilimanjaro. But if you're going to be walking and training in the UK hills, certainly in the winter, even now, it's going to rain a lot. And you want to be looking at something a bit more sturdy. So that's why we sort of suggest you might want to look at, a brand called Mountain Equipment, a brand called RAB. Arc'teryx is right at the top of the tree. It's a Canadian brand, and their waterproof jackets start around £300 upwards. But you want to be sort of looking at that. And I'll do a brief video on the quality and what you want to be looking at there as well. Okay, so here's a list of manufacturers going from sort of top to bottom, in my opinion. And this is what you want to look at. Going from Arc'teryx, which is Canadian make, all the way down to Carrymore, which I think is probably made in China now. And you can get that from Sports Direct, Field and Trek, anywhere like that. I'm moving up to Mountain Warehouse. It's a brand. It's a high street brand now. A lot of people use it. A lot of my DV groups use that. And I'm moving over to Arc'teryx. Rab Berghaus, Mountain Equipment. Montaigne is the kit I use. And I'm sort of moving down to Alp Kit, which is really good kit. If you want a down jacket, you want to buy a down jacket, have a look at Alp Kit. Sleeping bags as well, have a look at Alp Kit. They do some really good kit. Very limited, but they're really focused on what they do. It's really cool. Okay, retail outlets. You can't get better than the local retail outlet in your sort of town, etc. If there isn't any around, and you want to be looking at places like Cotswolds, Snow Rock, Ellison Brig, and Rock and Run, Blacks. Okay, guys that work in there tend to be outdoorsy anyway, and they can offer you a lot more advice than possibly somebody working at sort of Go Outdoors, Mountain Warehouse, or Sports Direct. We've heard sort of stories about Sports Direct, but the kit's okay for entry level. There's nothing wrong with it. So you're going to get additional advice from these guys. Obviously, watch out that the upsell. You don't need the Arc'teryx jacket unless you're going to go really into these mountain experiences. But Cotswolds is a lot. They're a big supporter of sort of mountain rescue DFE. etc. So the guys there typically are outdoors guys and girls. So Cotswolds, pretty much all over the country. Snow and Rock, certainly in Birmingham, certainly in London. Alice Brigham, same as well. Rock and Run, they're sort of, I think they're more north based. Blacks, Manchester based company, but do have outlets all over the place. Millets, spelled that wrong. That's Millet. That's in fact, there's another brand that's French. Trespass Talk 24. Get these in all the the sort of outlet malls, etc. So there's a lot of information there. So typically a waterproof jacket is what you call is taped from the inside. Doesn't have anything else inside. No mesh, no fleece attached to anything else in that. A good quality jacket, that is. And they retail from about £150 upwards. But they'll last you years and years and years. Okay. So that's pretty much it for me. Apologise that I can't get the Q&A. But if you want to take those notes down, email me direct, darren@mountainsandmind.com. There is my number if you wish to call me. And that's it. So Q&A. Unfortunately, I can't open that. And there we go. It's me and my partner, Claire. Okay, so I just want to close this down now, guys, and then get my ugly mug back on. Stop sharing. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. It is an hour, 55 minutes now. So thank you very much for taking your time out to watch and even to attend this live. I'm going to have a go see if I can open this chat. No, I can't see that either. No, sorry about that, guys. I will get that working for next time. So have a pleasant evening. Please rewind, watch the video again, drop us an email, drop us a message through Facebook, and we hope to see you on one of our trips soon. And obviously the guys, 2017, looking forward to hearing a lot more about your training. And any questions, like I say, drop us a message. Cheers, guys.